we just wish to understand first is Sol-Gel, what you talked about, is a solution for harvesting energy or avoiding need for cooling?
It's a solution for harvesting energy and creating new materials for hardening and protection, and with new materials, with surface materials with new characteristics. So it has an extensive potential to move from energy harvesting to a multifunction product.
Okay, that's great. When you talked of Prisma, which is a facade type, is there any training, set of training required for the laborers who are installing it, or it's a very common installation?
First of all, I want to answer that question. That it's a labor-intensive manufacturing based on the different three major components: glass, a glass fiber back or cradle, and the absorber inside. It's being assembled by a team of 3 to 4 people, can make maybe 100 a month. So it's a very labor-intensive assembly, which makes it attractive to countries with lower labor cost than we basically have in Sweden. When it comes to the mounting of this, it's let me give you one example. We have assembled a Prisma and an Orbit roof of about 500 to 1,000 square meters in just 2 days for 2 or 3 people doing that. So it's very easily and fast mounted, including the necessary piping.
That's great. And how about its need for maintenance for systems based on Sol-Gel and Prisma?
Sorry, could you repeat that question, please?
Okay, how about the maintenance system for the Sol-Gel and Prisma once it's installed in the buildings?
There's basically very minimal or no maintenance. There's a 1-year checkup of the system that it works well, and usually it comes together with the remote control systems, remote supervision and control system, monitoring system, so it could be monitored from anywhere. No maintenance.
Oh, that's really great of the product. Actually, I've heard of a company, PowerBox, producing power from down to 55 degrees Celsius. So, could these technologies be combined? I mean, yours and PowerBox.
We have looked into that, and we have not come to that conclusion yet. But we have more studies to make in that area.
Okay, coming to a question from a building perspective, building and construction industry perspective. In India, the concept of sustainable building or green buildings is coming up really well. So we have a variety of segments from home, factories, schools, offices, to as large as some townships. So how would you look your product scaling anything between small homes to big townships?
With this coating that we have identified the industrial processing as one of the key target segments, and that's a growing sector in India, using a lot of hot water. So the industrial processing sector is very interesting, and the synergies with and match with our technology is high. Another area is, of course, the hotels, hospital, the tourist sector, where there's a growing interest and demand for having zero-emission technologies embedded as a part of the buildings and the way you market the companies owning these plants. So I would see large hot water users and cooling users as hotels, hospitals, maybe schools, of course, but also multifamily houses to that extent that that they are quite new, so it could be applied in the new construction. But primarily the industrial processing sector is has the greatest benefits of using our technology, and especially the STRIPS products will work well in the high temperature area. Sol-Gel is also tested to produce 500 degrees of heating, which makes it a top-notch technology compared to competition in Europe and elsewhere.
That's excellent. Have you thought of tapping rural market in India?
Not yet. We won't like to do that together with a partner, because as we stand right now in Sweden, we are not able to. First of all, we do not fully understand the requirements in the rural areas, except for medium to large scale residential houses where our technology certainly could fit. But I think we need to team up with an Indian business partner to develop special products for the residential or rural market in India.
Have you? Are you having any installations in India as of now?
Unfortunately not. We have been in discussion with a couple of Indian companies that has been testing our coating, first of all. That's where we are today. We would like to move reasonably fast, finding a good matching partner, and would thereby be willing to start transferring the knowledge and technology, and to get to a setup of co-investments.
Okay. When we understood from you about your types of acquisition that you're open for, JV or technology transfers, so you're looking towards the local productions. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So you're looking for production from the very beginning of your product when you launch it in India, right?
I think some of the coating we could initially produce from Sweden to get the products established and so on. But I think the vision that we have is to maintain the Swedish operation as an R&D center with some manufacturing capabilities for the upcoming years, while establishing a stronger base in India, not only for the Indian market, but also for export to countries where we are not cost effective, like the Mid East and African markets, and also nearby markets in Asia.
That's good. I've mentioned earlier as well that India is a cost-sensitive market. So how are you looking for the cost optimization or cost economics for your product?
After doing some analysis, we believe that the material cost and the labor cost will be far much lower in India than we have today. And we also have confirmed that most of the materials that we need for manufacturing our products are available in the Indian market. So we think that it would be ideal to have a factory and together with a partner company with a solid distribution network, which is the other key criteria for us in our partner search. Manufacturing is one side of the coin, and the other one is the customer base and distribution capabilities. Well, we are not. We would be also evaluating an SME on the rise, or assuming that we can agree on the setup and the plan for the future. And we are truly interested to create a growth company, also with the potential of being listed or on the Mumbai Stock Exchange.
Okay. It seems that you already have some experience or talks in India. So are you having any kind of partners or potential companies who you feel that, okay, talking with would be a potential business case?
I think it's too early days to make such conclusions. So we are looking forward and would like to invite other companies for discussion. Now we are in the learning mode on what type of more detailed technical requirements do we need to reflect upon, and but we would welcome new companies for discussions.
You're open for discussions?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's really great. So are you ready to work with SMEs, because those are the ones who are capital sensitive? So working with SMEs, that indicates that you should be ready with some kind of funds on your hands to support them technically as well as financially.
Yeah, I would assume that some of the funds will come from India too, to create a solid foundation of the company.
So you're looking for some financial support as well through venture capitalist or equity market?
I think that is also interesting to us, especially if we are going to build a strong Indian company with a sustainable, competitive Indian company. We would probably need some strong Indian investors.
Okay. Is there any particular site in India which is specifically in your mind to set up your production activities?
We looked at, my experience comes from, of course, Mumbai and the Delhi area. I think we are looking, if we look at coating, I think what I understand that there's a thin film or nanotechnology center in Hyderabad, and I think that is an area where we have specifically looked into due to the competence in coating and thin film that is available there. But otherwise, we are quite neutral to this. We have experiences from Chennai and, of course, myself from Bangalore and from Delhi. So I think it needs to be a location effective in terms of distribution and access to the right skills. So I think we would like to see what kind of companies that are interested in in our technologies, and then we can work out a solution on the location.
You mentioned the location. One of the location is Chennai, right?
Yeah.
So any players you're in talk with in Chennai? Is it like purely a business visit or a customer one?
It is too early, and I do not want to comment on the current discussions that we do have. But I think we have been involved in an energy project in Chennai through our CTO before. So I think all these cities are very big cities to us. So we do not necessarily need to be represented in a big city. This could preferably be set up in the rural side or a smaller city too. So the question is, I'm unable to answer your question at this point due to the respect of potential interested parties.
Okay. You must be aware that India is having lots of universities which are very good at research, and some spin-off companies are doing well in India. So are you looking for some R&D institutions as well, or universities to tie up with to elaborate more on the research part?
We will also reflect on the R&D centers, yes, if they are available. And we do have one contact. Let me just get the name right. I'm need to apologize myself at this point, but the contact that we have is a Professor Dr. Sanjay Mathur, and apologies for not expressing this right again. I think he is engaged both in the Columbia University in Germany and at Hyderabad. But as said, we're quite open to the location and are looking forward to discussions with interested parties.
So, while having discussions with the potential partners, what would you place as your requirements with them as a first step to enter in India?
We will be looking into speaking to companies with core business of solar thermal or PV companies with ambitions to broaden their business into solar thermal technology. That's one category of partners that we're looking into. We're also looking into glass manufacturers and facade materials producers. That's the second category. The third category is, of course, larger companies that owns both construction companies, building new areas, etc., including the project management practice.
Okay.
And the fourth category is a sole investor with an interest, of course, to create different combinations of companies based on the SLR business to build a more of a green field or a new company, a new co, but with a strong investor. I'm just going to use some names. I know that Tata is investing in this area. I know that there are other companies that we have been speaking to that has an interest to invest in this area. So first category is solar companies. Second, glass or facade manufacturers. Thirdly, construction companies with their own production of building materials. Fourthly, an investor with ambitions to develop business in this area. But the main criteria are as follows. A good core skills in energy technology. Secondly, of course, a basic production site would be preferable to start with some experience either in coating or solar panels. Thirdly, of course, there needs to be a certain size, and I cannot say what size we would be interested in, but a medium-sized company would get some advantage in our discussion, of course. And fourthly, some funds and customer base and assets to be made available. On the other hand, we will also then transfer our key technologies that we invested over the last year, like 15 million euros in. And we will also invest our distribution and customer base network, especially in developing countries. So it will be a true partnership approach to be used.
Okay. As per my understanding about the Prisma and Solgel, the Prisma says that it needs some panel installations as well, and so you might be needing some anti-corrosion technologies as well. Is it so?
Not necessarily. It's fully protected right now for corrosion, and it's fully sealed, the Prisma. So we experience in the installations that we've had for the last 30 years, with a very, very few exceptions, no corrosion problems.
Okay, because as you said, it's steel, it's fine, but in Hyderabad, we actually have 2 rainy seasons here. So corrosion is one of the problems we usually face here. So how are you planning to tackle this in a city like Hyderabad?
It's totally insulated, and again, the Prisma consists of a glass and a glass fiber cradle on the back. Inside the absorber is the engine of this. These 3 pieces are being put together and sealed and glued together with no possibilities of getting any impact of rain or moisture or dust or anything. That's the advantage with the Prisma compared to the older generation of solar panels, which were not totally sealed from humidity, moisture, and dust.
How about acid rain then? Is this technology get affected by acid rain?
We have tested it, maybe not to the most exclusive acids, but in the areas we have tested it and in the laboratories, they should, let me answer this way, the glass that we are using and the backside we are using, the backside is being used by the automotive industry, and therefore it's being used under lorries and other types of vehicles, so it would probably stand most of the acids. But I think I'm not ready to exclude any acids today, but the glass and the glass fiber on the back and a totally sealed panel makes it as protected as any other facade materials today. So it's very comparative to other facade materials made of glass.
Okay. About the Sol Gel technology you mentioned, what would be the life of this gel?
We have tested it now in 8 chambers since the product has not been tested during the 20 or 30 years. But what we see of the tests in 8 chambers, I think we are more approaching 40 and 50 years. But we leave guarantees for 30 years.
30 years for any kind of environment? Let it be more sunny or more rainy? Anyone?
It's a general guarantee.
A general guarantee, common for all kind of environment. Okay. Any glass specification you would like to mention for your Sol Gel technology here?
Oh, you can use various types of glasses. So I would look into the height of the building for the thickness of glass to grow with the height of the building, and of course, if you would like different screen prints, the requirements on glass are different. So it varies is the best answer I can give today. But glass could be bought in India. We've looked into that.
Okay. For this Prisma technology, are you looking for glass manufacturers in India so that you can tie up to make some Prisma facades here in India?
That is a target segment for us where we should find a partner, yes.
Okay, so for Prisma, you're looking for glass manufacturers, and
also for Sol Gel, because we can use Sol Gel on the outside of the glass, creating the same type of patterns and glass and building protection.
Okay, for this application of Sol Gel, is there any specification like minimum glass size should be this much to have start working or to get this efficiency right, or it can work from any size to any size?
It can basically work for any size, yes.
So there is no specific requirement that minimum it should be X by Y size of glass or something?
Yes, and I would need to come back on that because I do not have the number exact in the back of my head.
Okay, no matter. Mr. Klaas, I would like to thank you for making such a great presentation. It was really informative and knowledgeable. And I'm sure when you are back to India in April, we will be ready with some good business partners, potential partners for you to meet with.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you all. I would request Ludwig if he would like to have an conclusion word.
Thank you, Ms. Prasanna, and also thank you for your excellent facilitation of the discussions. I think that this was an interesting webinar. We had two companies that exemplifies very well the target groups from the target companies from the Swedish side. They're both representing cutting-edge technologies, and they both have a great relevance for India. And both companies also have a great openness to share their knowledge about the opportunities provided by the technology they represent. So I really look forward to work with these companies, work with Indian partners to see what can happen. And as we said before, the next time we come to India will be late April 23rd, 29th, and we will mainly be in Mumbai and Chennai. You can also communicate with the companies over the web page, www.innovationsaccelerator.com. Don't forget the S in the middle. So thank you, Prasanna, and thank you to all of you for listening, and I look forward to meet you face-to-face in India.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. And to all the participants here, we would invite you to join us at www.innovationsaccelerator.com to have any further dialogue with any of the companies, as Ludwig mentioned. Thank you for listening to us in this webinar. Thank you. Thanks a lot.